Hello, I'm Dr. Melita Tate with Grassroots Healthcare, and this is my friend Chris from Economy Pharmacy.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being on our show today. We are in Las Vegas. We came down here to learn about hormones and like adrenaline problems and just basic women's health, heart health, and men's health, testosterone, those kind of things. And Economy Pharmacy does a lot of the compounding, so they're here as well. So we thought we'd do a broadcast from Las Vegas today for all of our viewers that had questions. So you can do some monitoring of what kind of things we're doing at Grassroots to help with your health. And you can also, if you go down to the bottom of the screen and click on there, there's a place where you can leave comments or questions. And so later on in the broadcast, just a little bit later, we're going to have some live questions that we're going to take from our audience for the pharmacist. So it'll be like ask the pharmacist instead of ask the doctor today, although you can ask me too if you have questions, and we'll together put our heads together and try to take care of you. So that's really what medicine's all about. It's about the pharmacist and the physician and the patient, all three working together in a triad to sort of come up with the best customized solution for the patient. So compounding pharmacy is one of the best ways to do that, because we can kind of tailor make what you need for your body and how you can best absorb it. And if things aren't getting absorbed correctly, we can monitor that with testing and then put our heads together to find out a better way to get things into your body that you may be deficient on, nutrients, vitamins, those kind of things.
Yeah, and that's really what compounding is all about, being able to customize to the patient their medication, replace what they're low in, customize it specifically for the patient. They might be the only patient in the world on this one particular strength and this one particular dosage, and that's what compounding and working with the physician that will prescribe compounding can do for you.
Yeah. So to get started, I just want to make this announcement for those of you who are new and joining us. We're Grassroots Healthcare. We're located at 91st and Sheridan. We are just off of 169, and right down the street from us is Economy Pharmacy. They're at 169 and 91st. You can get a hold of our office if you're interested in making an appointment. We don't take insurance at our office. So if you or anyone you know has a high deductible or just needs a doctor that doesn't spend her time pushing around insurance dollars, then we'd be a great fit for you. Our office number is 918-878-7733, and Yomira will be there to answer the phone and take appointments, and so are our other staff. And Economy Pharmacy, how can they best get a hold of you?
Again, Dr. Tate said that we are located at 91st and Highway 169. Our telephone number there is 918-615-3388. We also have 2 locations in Muskogee and then another location in Tulsa at 66th and Yale.
And don't you guys deliver too?
And we also offer delivery service. Yeah.
Great. That helps a lot of my patients, especially with the weather being bad, some of our older patients not able to get out, or patients who live, who are kind of homebound, so that helps them quite a bit. All right. So one of the most exciting things, several of the exciting things that I've learned this week, we talked a lot about, of course, estrogen and progesterone and finding the right balance for our patients, different kinds of creams for that. And so I wanted to just quickly send out a call for anybody who's had a hysterectomy recently, who's undergoing, problems with their sleep, heart palpitations, younger women with anxiety, depression. A lot of times that's a hormonal imbalance. So, and especially if you're noticing it more around your period or around times of ovulation, people with polycystic ovarian symptoms can't seem to lose weight, and hair loss, hair growth that you're not in places that you don't want it, those kind of things, those kind of symptoms. It'd be great for you to come by and see us. We're learning a lot of different herbal remedies and vitamin deficiencies that can contribute to these things this week. And then also different compounds that we can use to help our patients. So that's been a lot of what we've been talking about. Some of the other interesting things, I've had patients in my office this week with burning tongue syndrome, and they talked about that in some of the lectures and some different things that I hadn't thought of that may help, different compounding that we can do to help. So I'm going to try to remember my patients to get a hold of them when we get back home. But if you're watching, anybody that may have that, burning tongue syndrome is one of the things. A lot of the autoimmune disorders, they discussed lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, some of those patients, and then again the PCOS like I talked about.
And this week we've learned not only about hormone replacement, we've learned a lot about nutrition and how important nutrition is and how important the gut is. If your gut's healthy, you're going to be more healthy. And that, I find that really interesting, and it's stuff that I'm not incredibly knowledgeable about, so I'm excited to be learning more.
Mm-hmm. I did have a patient who had asked me on our Facebook message system. Some people will message me on our Grassroots webpage, and so I did have a patient last week who was asking about different probiotics. You said you have a kind there at your pharmacy. That's good.
Yeah, the thing about probiotics is you get what you pay for. So if you go to a big box store and you buy a $500 bottle for $3, it's not going to have the kind of bacteria, the kind of probiotics in there that you want. You want to look for something that has billions of colony forming units, nothing in the millions. You want billions. We recommend
billions are going to be better.
Yeah, and we recommend a few different brands. One of the major brands that's still kind of affordable, it's around between the $20 and $40 range, depending on the quantity, is called Floristore. There's some other ones that have to be kept in the refrigerator that we recommend also that can be up to the $50 range. But usually Floristore is a really good one that we recommend.
Good. And gut health being important, because when the gut's inflamed, you're not going to absorb things as well, or things are going to slip in between the cells and be presented to your body as an antigen. And what happens is if your blood sees it as foreign, then it's going to form antibodies to it. And this can contribute to increased allergies, can also contribute to increased autoimmune disorder. So as we begin to look for why patients are having problems in their whole system, many times it will trace all the way back to your gut and those antibiotics you were put on as a kid that maybe you may or may not have needed for your virus. So again, caution to all of our patients for taking too many antibiotics whenever they have a viral illness or something. There's other things we can do for viruses, and we're learning more and more nutritionally how to be sound and able to fight off those things.
Yeah, I mean, and just the importance of eating correctly, eating organic, grass-fed as much as you possibly can. And, I'm not saying you have to be gluten-free or dairy-free, but the importance of a good balance there. Or if you are allergic, gluten or present those symptoms, it's important that you abide by that, and it's going to really improve your overall health.
Right. And so if your gut's inflamed, sometimes patients are having a harder time absorbing some of the vitamins and nutrients that they need. And we've talked about this on here before, but a lot of the vitamins and nutrients that we need aren't getting into the foods that are being grown so quickly and monocropped, and the soil's being depleted. So we'll put in the things that make them look great, but maybe not the things that the patients need nutritionally. And so there's ways with compounding to help us get that into our system too. They talked a lot about some of the vitamin B complexes. Do you have some of those available?
Yeah, and kind of the same thing along with what I was saying about you get what you pay for. With the vitamin Bs, with any vitamins or minerals, you want what's called a pharmaceutical grade. You want something that is tested by a third party. So it's not like, oh, here's what's in here, take it, hopefully it works. You want something that's verified what's in this bottle, and that you take that, because no matter how much, as recently seen in the news, some of the big chain stores, some of the supplements and herbals that they were carrying, they actually did some testing on them, and there was a fraction of what there should have been in there, if any of it at all. So
enough to call it whatever, but not.
Well, actually, any of those supplements over the counter, they're not monitored by the FDA. So it can actually say whatever it wants, and it can be whatever it wants in that bottle. So it's important you get a pharmaceutical grade. Now, they tend to be more expensive. We carry a certain brand called Numedica, which is not incredibly expensive. It's usually around between $10 and $30, depending on what you buy. But it is a great brand. You're going to get what it says is in there. If you go buy a $1.99 brand of vitamin B over the counter, you have no clue what is in that bottle.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things I was listening to them say this week was that the statins and certain drugs really deplete us of CoQ10, that you should be on CoQ10 for each one of several of the drugs. Statins were one, I think, over the oral contraceptives.
Yes.
Were another. What else was in there? Diuretics. Hydrochlorothiazide was a big one. Any diuretic.
And the thing about CoQ10 is your body needs it to function properly for a lot of different processes to actually work. And in an American diet and with pharmaceutical usage, it depletes your body of a CoQ10. So it's very important. CoQ10, fish oil. I mean, fish oil is a thing that you basically can't get enough of. That doesn't mean you have to eat a lot of fish. It just means you need to take a good supplement of fish oil.
Or vice versa. It doesn't mean you have to take a supplement. You can eat a lot of fish. You can get these things nutritionally too if your body will absorb one way or the other. So we're not trying to put you on a bunch of pills, but we do want to educate you about what can be deficient in your body, what disease processes those deficiencies can cause. And instead of putting you on the newest and latest drug that has been studied for 12 weeks and may be causing depletion of your magnesium or some other vitamin that you need for other processes in your body that's going to cause you to wind up with other symptoms down the line, if we can get to the root cause of the problem and start to begin to treat that as well as treating your symptoms, and then hopefully you can come off of any medications that we'd start. That's our goal, is to get the patients well.
That's right.
So one of the things that I did want to talk about this week we learned was a new, well, it's not really new, but a form of testing that a lot of MDs have been shy to use, which is salivary testing. The reason for salivary testing is that we use, a lot of times our blood levels may be fine, but if the product is not getting, or the hormone or whatever we're testing for isn't getting into the cells, then clinically we still have the illness or the disease process in our body. And so salivary testing is one way to help figure that out.
Yeah, and see, Dr. Tate was saying is when we do a blood test, which most physicians do a blood test for hormones, it is actually testing the hormone that's bound to the blood cell and not actually the hormone that's out in the body working and the tissues working. So salivary testing gives us a more real-time capture of what level of hormones out in the tissue working. It is something that's been out for quite a bit of time, but it's because of the history of blood testing. Physicians have been more reluctant to it, but it's actually becoming more and more mainstream all the time.
Right, right. It's getting more common, and so they do offer it at your store. We're looking into some forms of being able to offer it, but we can't. So I was going to have you, at this point, we're looking into it, but I was going to have you kind of expand on maybe what the basic cost for a hormone salivary test would be.
Yeah, actually, the salivary testing, depending on what you get, is sometimes more affordable than a blood test, especially for someone who doesn't have insurance. The average cost per hormone to test is between $30 and $45. If you do individual hormones, it's $45. If you do like a panel of 5 different hormones, it would be $30 per test. So it would be a $150 test. If you do have insurance, sometimes they do cover that also. But if you don't, it's way more affordable than having a blood panel that's going to be like an $800 test. So.
Right, except at our clinic, our blood panel runs about the same. But.
That's right. Well, then excellent. Yeah.
But we want to give our patients whatever test is best. And so if this is going to be something that will benefit my hormone patients, to get this, if it's going to be more precise, and that's what we're going to find out.
Yeah, and the way that we do it, well, actually, the pharmacy, we don't make any money off the test. You come in, or you'll send your patient in for a kit. We'll give them a kit. We'll go over with them how to use the kit. It will come with 1 big tube and 3 little tubes, and depending on what test is ordered. If we do just a female hormone panel 1, you're going to use just 1 tube, the large tube, and it's going to test your estradiol, progesterone, testosterone, DHEA, and 1 cortisol. If we do a 4 cortisol test, it's all in one day. You'll use all 4 tubes, and the other 3 little tubes test your cortisol, so then we can get a full day's worth of where your cortisol is in the morning, noon, afternoon, and nighttime.
Okay, great. Yeah. Do you have any other tests, salivary tests available, like for melatonin, like she was talking about?
This company offers a lot of other tests. Also, again, it's going to be a price per test, so that would just increase the price. But yes, it offers a lot of other things. Good.
That opens up lots of ways for us to help our patients find out what they may or may not be deficient in. Some of the exciting things too about melatonin that they talked about here at the seminar was that they've been using it in some studies to block the binding of estrogen to the receptor tissues in the breast. So they're kind of using it for patients who have breast cancer to protect. So there's been a lot of really exciting research on just these common things that you can get over the counter that have been helpful to patients. So we'll be coming back with more information about that, I guess, in the future. But a lot of exciting tests going on. So again, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on our broadcast today. We just wanted to give you guys an update about how Vegas is going. Economy Pharmacy has one of the nicest staff. So we've been, Kelly and I both been here, and we've been hobnobbing with Carol and Kathy a little bit, who work with Chris over at Economy. Carol is so sweet, and we were laughing this morning. I was telling her, you are so non-confrontational. We were talking about some fun stuff, and she's like, I know, I'm sorry. So we've had a really great time. hanging out at Vegas. I think Kelly looked for some flip-flops last night, went shopping for some flip-flops. Not me, I was back in the room asleep, but it's been a great time. We stayed at the Cosmopolitan, and where did we eat dinner?
We had a prime steakhouse at the
So-
Bellagio last night, which was unbelievable.
Yeah, so I'm still recovering from that. That was really, really beautiful here. It's great. So I wanted to just go over real quick before I go. Just get a hold of me or Chris if you're interested in getting some hormonal testing. Any of my patients, just about anyone, I would recommend after a certain age, especially if you're having hot flashes, night sweats, headaches, problems that you think may be related, or perimenopausal if your periods have changed, to at least address whether or not you need hormones. We don't want everybody on them if they don't need them. We want to support you in the best way that we know how for you to be as young and healthy, but they are showing more and more studies proving that they're protective of our memory, protective of our bones, and this isn't just for women, it's for men too. So our brain function, our heart function, are being protected by these hormones, and these are something we need to look into, and at least until we can support our own abilities to manufacture these hormones internally. If we're getting low or depleted, we need to have them in place. They keep us young, they keep our genetic material from deteriorating more rapidly, keep us from aging as quickly, and keep us out of the disease process range. So
yeah, and one thing that they talked about a little bit and that we've seen a big rise of is hysterectomies becoming to women earlier and earlier. And if you know someone, or if you're someone that just had a hysterectomy, the doctor may put you on a hormone, may not, may tell you don't need it, whatever. Well, you're going to realize real quick how miserable you are with certain symptoms, and you need to go see someone who specializes in that. If your doctor won't do that, then you need to go see Dr. Tate, someone who specializes in the hormone replacement to get you feeling back to normal. We're not going to try to make you Superwoman, okay? But we do want to make you just back to normal. And if you're not sure what hormone replacement is or bioidentical hormone replacement is, we can sure explain it to you. But in easy terms, the hormone that we give you is identical to what your own body makes. So we're not giving
no
you
extra
anything.
side chains like are on the drugs. The ones that the drug companies manufacturing is a different. There's estrogen 1, 2, and 3, and so these are mostly estrogens 2 and 3, which are more protective, and they don't have the side chains that are extra on them like the ones that are manufactured synthetically.
Yeah, so synthetics can be just manufactured synthetically from chemicals, or can be from a horse. The most popular one that's been out for 70 years now is Premarin, and that's from a horse's urine. Yeah, that doesn't sound like something that your own body normally makes, and so I don't know how your body is going to react to it. Well, it's actually, there's studies out that show how they react to it, and it's not well. So what we use is hormone that your body is used to, that your body makes normally, so your body will know what to do with it.
Right, and there's going to be no extra stuff warming up the whole system or using up other cofactors and vitamins in your body to break it down so that it can be metabolized out correctly. So, so if you've had a hysterectomy, whether or not they've left your ovaries, if you're having any symptoms of changes, because sometimes, many times, patients will have changes in their whole system when they have a hysterectomy taken out, with or without their ovaries being present. You can still make estrogen and progesterone and stuff with your ovaries, but it still applies. So if you're interested in that, if you know someone who's had that, also men may notice, decreased energy levels or memory loss, those kind of things. Those are things that we need to be looking at, their testosterone levels and other nutrients and vitamins that they may be deficient on, to try to help them stay as healthy and young as possible. So if you know someone like that, and they either have high deductible or don't have insurance, or even if they do have insurance, a lot of times we can get the labs done on their insurance, please send them to me or someone who's well versed in taking care of their hormones. And you can also go to the pharmacy and have your hormones drawn with salivary testing. And then, Chris and I can collaborate, or if it seems fairly cut and dried, you guys will go ahead and treat from the pharmacy too, right?
Well, we would send a recommendation to the prescriber.
To their doctor. So to your doctor, whether it's me, whether it's someone else. He works with lots and lots of physicians, not just me. So, all right. So, so get a hold of us if you have questions at 918-878-7733. Talk to Yomira there at the office. They're keeping the office open today for any of our patients that are watching, even though Kelly and I are in Vegas. If you guys have questions, if you need a nurse visit, need medications called out, they're there. Or get a hold of Chris.
918-615-3388 at the pharmacy.
Yeah, great.
Thank you. Thanks again for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you soon.